So Doctor Who is of course an immensely popular show, and there's always a big twist or a big turn that comes with the show. I think we can all agree when we say that Matt Smith is one of the most popular actors to have ever rode the TARDIS, if you will. But one thing that we should keep in mind is that David Tennant nearly stayed for another series. So this video is going to explore what exactly would have happened, and also I'm going to give my opinions on what could have happened with the episodes. According to Steven Moffatt, he drafted 2 versions of the Series 5 opening. The first opening, of course, featured Matt Smith as the Doctor regenerating. Well, after the regeneration, the TARDIS flying over London with the console literally in flames and about to explode. However, the second opening showed the 10th Doctor crash landing in Amelia Pond's garden, and that would have apparently been the last we see of the 10th Doctor, timeline-wise. I'll get to the other parts in a minute. So, the 10th Doctor crash lands in Amelia Pond's garden, meeting her, and apparently could have known who she was. Let me explain. So, after the 10th Doctor leaves Amelia Pond's garden, later on, the Doctor will return, but has no memory of actually meeting Amelia Pond. Keep in mind, this point would take place when Amy is much older and now played by Karen Gillan, aka Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other Marvel films that she's appeared in. Anyway, moving on, I do think the story could have played out quite differently with the 11th hour. For one thing, it probably wouldn't have been called the 11th hour because there was no regeneration. But maybe the episode could have been called Something of the Atraxi or Something and the Atraxi, because the Atraxi were the villains, technically, and so was Prisoner Zero. And that could have drastically changed Series 5 as a whole. For one thing, I think the Doctor would have easily just solved the whole case of the Starship UK incident. I have very vague memories of that episode, 'cause I was very young when Matt Smith was becoming the Doctor. Anyway, when it comes to Victory of the Daleks, I think the Doctor would be beyond pissed. Because, well, the Doctor is battle-scarred from the Time Warp, probably still, and maybe he tries to convince Winston Churchill that, hey, the Daleks are evil, we need to stop them, we need to destroy them. And obviously the Doctor would find the new Daleks, the Dalek paradigm thing with the progenitor device, and understandably the Doctor would probably want to, and I quote, blow them all to hell. That quote is from nowhere, I'm just quoting myself. And when it comes to some of the other storylines where the Silurians would show up, Silurians? I don't exactly know how you pronounce it, but I think the Doctor would be very much protective of Amy and Rory, and maybe Rory could have ended up not dying, probably would have stayed on for the rest of the series. This would mean no plastic Rory, no lone Centurion, and maybe the Pandorica couldn't have ended up at the museum, but we'll get to that later. The Doctor would understandably be a bit battle-scarred, and Vampires of Venice probably would have played out a lot differently. How it could have played out differently, we don't actually know. But the 10th Doctor could have drastically changed Series 5 if David Tennant stayed on for Series 5. And when it comes to the Pandorica Opens / The Big Bang, that's the 2-parter, it could have changed so much. And also, when it comes to the episode with the Weeping Angels, the 2-parter, I think the Doctor would instantly recognise River, but because timey-wimey stuff, the Doctor and River would meet, but River wouldn't actually recognise the Doctor, because timelines and all that. And when it comes to Pandorica Opens / The Big Bang, things would change drastically. For one thing, this could have been obviously Tennant's final series, and perhaps after he leaves Amelia Pond's garden, he regenerates. And then we get Series 6 with the 11th Doctor, and how that impacts we will never know. But this does mean that Matt Smith would have gotten one less season to be the Doctor, so that would have been interesting. And maybe Karen Gillan couldn't have been Amy in Series 6 by some unknown means. And maybe the newest companion, possibly Clara, could have been introduced in A Christmas Carol. Although I think the young Kazaran Sarlacc probably could have made a good companion. Although that's just my take on what could have happened if David Tennant maybe stayed on for an alternate Series 5. What do you guys think? Do you think David Tennant would have made a good Doctor for Series 5? Do you think Matt Smith was the right choice? And what do you think of the 2 alternate versions of Series 5 that Steven Moffatt drafted? Which one would you have liked to actually see? Obviously the 11th hour one was good, but I don't necessarily remember it that well. Again, I was very young when the 11th hour came out. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.